Hey everyone. This is Daniel here. Today we're gonna talk about a company that is uh, very well known, right? I mean, the media is covering this almost on a daily basis. So this company is Tesla, right? Tesla produced some amazing products, in my opinion. The Model 3, the Model S, and Model X, and also they also have a lot of they have a visionary founder, Elon Musk. So it is one of my favorite company, not to invest in, but because the stock has been flat for the last 5 6 years. I really like the product of this company. Usually for this channel, um, I don't really talk about equities that are well known because usually when something is well known, something is known to the public, it means the expectation is already baked into the price. So when the expectation is baked into the price, there's really little profit that can be made. That's why if you look in my past video, the companies I talk about, I do my research on, are something that's completely under the radar. They are something that's just completely unknown to most people. But today I want to talk about Tesla because once in a while, even the market is inefficient. Inefficient. The market inefficient in the short term sometimes. Maybe once every 5 or 6 years or so, the market is very inefficient for certain stocks. For example, Apple, Amazon, Google. If you really look at history, there are some really good entry points for these companies that you can. Although they were well known back in the day, when there was amazing opportunities, the price was good. Despite that, despite they were well known, there were some entry points. The market was actually inefficient during that time. So today I want to talk about Tesla because I think Tesla, there is some entry points maybe once every 5 years for Tesla that's about to happen. So we're getting close to that point, and I think it's really right now is a good time to really look at this fundamental of Tesla and able to recognize whether this is a good opportunity or not. So we have done a lot of research in the past month or two. Actually, I want to give a little bit of my history on Tesla. I actually got to know Tesla about 13 years ago. So when I talk about this piece of history, it's actually quite painful because I got to know the company before Elon took the helm, right? I got to know the company when they first founded and they had no products. And it was founded by two other guys. And I think the previous co-founder of Tesla, they created a website. And one of my friend back in high school, so that was really early on in my life. My friend back in high school, he was a huge car enthusiast, right? Then he introduced me to this company Tesla, and he told me that they were making a brand new electric car, which is called Tesla Roadster. So I've been following that company since 2006. That's 13 years ago. And after Tesla went IPO, I urged my mom to invest in this company because I really love their product. I know their roaster is amazing. I know the Model S is going to be a success. So back in 2011, I think, or 12, I was asking my mom, please, invest in this company because back then I just graduated from my master's degree in university. I don't have a lot of money, so I did not really invest in Tesla, but I was asking my mom to invest in it because she does have a portfolio. She didn't listen to me, and the stock went up 10 times. I think it was in 2013, literally just like a year after, maybe only half a year after I told my mom that this company is amazing. And that was actually the best period to invest in Tesla if you look back, right? If you're investing here or anywhere after that huge run up between 2013 and 2014, you wouldn't be making a lot of money, right? The massive profit that can be made is here. Is literally between 2013 March to 2014 October. That's where you would make the most money within the shortest amount of time. And if you invest anywhere, even this little dip here, this, I mean, it's not little, but it's dip here. You only make 170% versus here you're gonna be making 750% in less than a year. Actually, a bit more than a year, right? So that's my point. Your timing is very important. That's why when I'm looking at investment, I want to look at something that's under the radar. In 2013, before the Model S came, when the Model S just came out, Tesla was still roughly was unproven, right? Was under the radar still. So that's pretty good. But unfortunately, Tesla right now is a huge company, is well known to almost everyone, and that's why I avoid it. I avoid it for the last, 6, 7 years. I just don't want to look at it because I miss this. I miss this point. I was there. I was looking at the stock for like the thing went nowhere for almost 2 years after IPO, and I was just then it started did this move. It was just really painful experience for me because I had money back then. I could have put it in myself. Instead, I told my mom to do it, but she didn't, and it was painful experience. It was a huge missed opportunity. That was one of my huge missed investment in my life. Next one was the 3D printing. I was actually looking at 3D printing stocks back in 2011 as well because I was involved in some startups, some think tanks in Toronto, and they were showing me a bunch of the first model of MakerBots, and I found that was pretty impressive. That's back in the day, I could totally imagine that in the future everyone would have a 3D printer at their home. That was unfortunately, 3D printer adoption did not happen, but Tesla adoption has already happened, right? So if you look at the Tesla delivery trend, it's literally going exponential. And a lot of people saying that 2019 Q1 delivery failed to impress. I disagree because you have to look at the quarter from a quarter to quarter basis, right? 2019 first quarter is a massive increase from 2018 first quarter, right? And you can see that in a cyclical nature of the fourth quarter to the first quarter. Usually the first quarter would dip from the fourth quarter, right? So if you read the news these days, a lot of news saying that the first quarter result dropped by 40% from the fourth quarter of 2018. That's just completely BS in my opinion because if you look at the data, the first quarter is usually the slower quarter, right? I guess during Christmas people are buying more cars or they ship more cars before the end of the year. I don't know the detail of how their manufacturing process works. But you can see that you gotta do a quarterly basis. I mean, don't listen to mainstream media. We look at all the numbers for Tesla, all the shipment, the fundamentals, their debt level, everything. I mean, everything looks really good actually. We don't find a lot of problems with their numbers, to be honest. They're burning cash, sure, but this is a growth company. It's growing at 60%, 80% a year. And it's a $20 billion company growing at this rate. I mean, right now the market cap is about, what, is $34 billion. It's amazing. I mean, this company is amazing in terms of numbers. So I'm not too worried about the numbers of Tesla. One thing I'm trying to figure out is that, okay, I want to talk about another thing. Another thing is an autonomy day, Tesla autonomy day. I want to making sure that this is that I actually have a background in computer engineering, and a couple of years ago, 2016, 2017, 2018, I was actually involved in a small project where we have to apply neural networks to a data problem, to a machine learning prediction problem. And neural network is essentially the foundation of the modern self-driving unit, right? So the modern self-driving cars, they're doing something called sensor fusion, and they take a lot of data from different sensors, and they take the input that data and they analyze it using a neural network, using a trained neural network that's in your AI chip in your car, and they make decisions based on that. They make driving decisions based on that, and the hardware of that is very important because you need a lot of processing power to process data from different sensors, your cameras, your radars, everything, right, in the car. I know the Tesla probably has a 6 to 8 cameras on the car. That's why they have the Sentry mode. But what's more important than the hardware and the design of a neural network is the data. It's the data. So the way that you train a computer to recognize an object is very different how you train a human being to recognize an object. A human being, if I search for, if I have a kid who's never seen a banana before, I can show them a picture of this banana, and they will recognize the banana from that moment. Now, I just tell them this is a banana, and they just have to see it once to learn it. Okay, but for computer, they literally have to take in all these pictures, maybe thousands of pictures of a banana in order to recognize, in a general sense, what a banana is. Because computer does not have imagination. It is not able to transform the banana, a 2D image of banana, into a 3D objects in the computer's mind, so that it's able to recognize banana in different perspectives. Okay, that's the thing about neural network. That's how neural network learns doing image recognition, is that it takes in a lot of examples of the image, lots of situations, lots of examples, and it takes that in, and it really just doing curve fitting on the data of that image. And eventually, the output of that is the model of the neural network. So the neural network itself is very important. The design of the neural network is very important. You have different layers for the neural network. You have different ReLU activation units for neural network. But the key thing is quality data, right? In order to make a neural network, in order to make an AI that's very, very accurate and smart and understand all different conditions, different edge cases, you have to have tons of data. And having tons of data is not a relative advantage in a self-driving car, in the arena of self-driving car. It's an absolute advantage. And Tesla is the only autonomous driving company that has tons of data. If you watch Tesla Autonomy Day, the video on YouTube, they talk about, everything is recorded. So all their cars that's driving on the road is recording. And they also have a shadow mode, which the computer is actually comparing the computer's result with your driving behavior to figure out where the computer did it wrong. So the computer is constantly improving, constantly watching how you drive, and eventually it's going to drive like you, right? So go watch that video. I highly recommend, if you really want to invest in this company, a 3-hour video is you should watch it. You should watch the entire thing, because you're putting your money on the line. It deserves your research. You should watch the entire thing. Don't watch any highlights, because it's missing out a lot of stuff. So after I watched the Tesla Autonomy Day, I look at how they determine, how they train their neural nets, how they what kind of technology, what kind of data they have, how they are, the chips, everything. Dude, I can tell you, man, they are way ahead of all the other competitions. They're way ahead, because the biggest problem in autonomy is the long tail. It's the edge cases. There are, tens of thousands of cars on the road right now, and they're interacting with real world situations. They're not encountering a simulation. They're not building an autonomy vehicle in a simulation. They're encountering with real world problem, real world situation, real world edge cases. Eventually, after millions or even billions of miles driven, they will become better than a human, because they will see a different different scenarios where the car crashes, where the car hit a person, whatever, right? They're gonna see that. As a human being, how often you experience crashes? You probably don't experience crashes very often, maybe twice in your life or 3 times in your life, right? If you experience more than that, you're probably dead by now. But not Tesla. Tesla vehicles is on the road. They probably have experienced, I don't know how many Tesla crashes have happened so far, but maybe hundreds and hundreds of crashes. So they are already more experienced than a human. Another thing I want to talk about is that Tesla is going to dominate. Okay, that is an inevitability almost. Okay, that road is so clear. I'm not even worried about Tesla becoming a $1 trillion company in the next 10 years. I want to figure out what's my entry point is, right? I want to figure out what price this thing's going to go down to. So let's take a look at Apple, a history of Apple. I'll just give you an example, right? Apple introduced iPod around 2002-ish and introduced iPhone in 2006. And you can see that after introduction of first iPhone, the thing actually crashed. Crashed it quite a bit. That was a correction of, I don't know, let me check. It has a correction of 40%. You see that after introduction of iPhone. And also after introduction of maybe iPhone 3GS, I remember 2008 introduced 3GS. It was also the financial crisis. There was a dip of 57%. 57%. Look at that. It just tells you that when everyone recognizes, if you look at this, these are a blip in the history of the Apple stock share prices. But imagine you're buying here and you have to drop by 57%. Your portfolio got destroyed here, right? You're down 60%. It's just a huge amount of pain you have to live through. So if your entry point is incorrect, you will be wiped out before the thing see the light of the day, right? Before the end of the tunnel, you're gonna be wiped out. And that's something very important. When everyone recognizes that this company is going to be successful, what's going to happen is that the company's stock is actually going to fall, historically speaking. The reason is that when everyone sees this company is actually successful, the expectation is baked into the price, right? Which means at that moment, the company is actually quite overvalued. So, which means there's no more buyers that's eager to buy from this level. And the buyers are waiting for the price to fall a little bit further down so they can start picking up more shares. You can look at this, that the Apple actually formed a very nice base here to allow, I'm talking about a huge hedge fund. I'm talking about huge mutual funds, that manages billions of dollars. They are able to pick up the stock right here, right? They don't want to pick up here. They want to pick up here. So is Tesla. Tesla has been in a very high range for the last, 5 years. It went nowhere, right? And most smart monies that's holding billions of dollars, they just couldn't buy at this kind of valuation, at this level. They want something of a bargain. They really want a bargain. Until this thing becomes a bargain, that's when the whales start jumping in and lift this so quick, and it's going to rebound so quickly. But we don't know where the bottom is. But the thing is, we can have a little bit clue here. We might have a clue. I think I personally, we ran some DCF models, our valuation models, all that stuff. It's not going to give you the bottom price because it's going to give you the fair value price. But I think the bottom is probably less than. They're doing the wash and rinse right now, essentially. They're doing the wash and rinse. They want to wash and rinse every single last Tesla bull out there. They want them to leave, just like Apple, right? Just like the Apple stock was dropped by 58% after iPhone came out. After Apple was like growing at the 50% every year, or maybe 60% every year in revenue. So if this thing drops by 58%, 59%, 60%, you're looking at this level. You're looking at the previous low here, 143. There's a chance, in my opinion, that we might break this point. I mean, it makes sense that we should break this point just to wash and rinse almost everyone who entered the market after 2013, right? Imagine you buy anywhere after 2013, you would be seeing your account at a loss after how many years? After 6 years. That's a very difficult psychological moment, right? After 6 years, your account was in green. You were holding onto it. You decide to be a long-term investor in Tesla, but after 6 years, you see your account in red. It's still down 10%, even if you bought a bottom here or here. So maybe this thing's gonna go down to even $100. I actually think $100, around $100, this level, is a very, very good entry point. It's an excellent entry point. But are we gonna go down to that level? We have to look at this. We have to follow up with the stock on a day-to-day basis. If at this kind of speed, this kind of velocity, it's gonna reach. I mean, they have an earning call in August, which I think the earnings is not going to be great. I mean, it's not going to be up to the expectation. So I think the stock might fall further from August until before the next earning, which is October-ish, right? So I think we might end around. It's gonna stop around September, right? So September would be a good month to really look at the Tesla stock. So I'm gonna maybe do another video by the time we reach September to see whether we have to see the bottom formation of Tesla shares. Okay. That's all I want to say here. Again, the Tesla, a very popular company, everyone's looking at it. The bargain doesn't come along very, very often. The media is very bearish. I know the media is super bearish right now. CNBC, they're just bashing this thing every freaking day. They love it. They love bashing it. But come on, for us, we're here to make money. Right. We're here to make 10, 20 times on money. I'm not looking at 2 times gain. I'm looking at 10, 20 times gain here. Tesla going to become a $1 trillion company within the next 10 years. The industry is shifting really quickly. I'm looking at reviews all around the world. I'm actually looking at reviews all around the world on Tesla. I'm talking about reviews from China, review from Europe. We actually look at local reviews translated, and we know that Tesla Model 3 is a hit, is a huge hit. People buying, okay? People in China buying, people in Europe are buying, everyone's buying. Is a hit. Whatever. So I'm talking too excited about this stock, but again, what makes me even more excited would be the price falls further. We can pick up some shares at a decent entry point to lower our risk. Okay, so thank you very much. Thanks for listening. I'll see you guys next time.